again. Okay, now it looks like we're live. Apologies. Persigelli is leading the race, and Phoenix, I believe, got a drive-through penalty. And yeah, it looks like we're live. It looks like we're live. It looks like we're live now.
All right, so I believe Phoenix may have jumped the start, which caused that drive-through penalty.
Gonna cost him a lot of time there. He's already 10 seconds down the order from the car ahead. And when DRS is enabled, he really wants to be inside that DRS zone. Anywho, Persigelli is leading with hards.
I think Tadpole went for a bit of a spin, so
let's see.
He's fallen off a little bit from the group, so no safety car, no virtual safety car. I just happened to see that and went, all right, maybe Phoenix got a bit of a reprieve with the unfortunate instance of someone else. As we see our predicted pit strategy, we're going to go medium to hard probably this race.
Or medium hards, depending if you got a set of mediums already. But Raka says hi. Sorry. So, funny thing that has never happened to me before is that it says that I am live. It says that it is public, and it even says on the stream that I'm live, but it wasn't live on YouTube for whatever reason. I do not know. It's just YouTube things. But we are live now. I can see that everyone is typing. So, yeah, apologies for that. But we're here. Persigelli is leading the race 1.7 seconds ahead of his teammate, James Taylor. And James Taylor is going to have to do some fending off because he's the car that has dropped outside the DRS. And Persigelli doesn't look like he wants to help him at the moment. So James Taylor gonna need to defend from everyone in this long DRS straight, the Camel straight. And let's see how close Cameron is able to close up. DRS is wide open as well. And if you're running a low setup, low downforce setup, then this is the overtaking spot for you. Doesn't seem like there is enough. He didn't close in enough to make an overtake. And instead, it's looking like he's been dropping a bit, but James is still dropping Persigelli is still dropping James, so Mercedes not playing the team game at the moment. What do you take from that? Oh!
I think, whoa! Well, there's the problem. Persigelli tried to take a detour there into the gravel trap, able to get himself out. But that is not where you want to be, going from the lead of the race, resetting himself back down to 6th, the back of the train. And it looks like Julisho now a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. So the track limits here are going to be a little rough for all of our runners. I expect Julisho to be able to handle that when they come in around lap 10 or so, to switch over to the different tire. If you could bring up the compounds everybody's running.
Everyone is running hards. Whoops.
Okay, so that means they should probably come in around lap 12 to 14 and then go medium the rest of the way. So it should be a one-stop race. We're not going the full distance here, so I don't think we'll see anything silly like medium hard, or what we saw in Bahrain.
Sorry to interrupt you. James Taylor is defending for his life against Aston Martin here. We saw similar action yesterday in Bahrain in real life. Let's see if he can make an overtake. An attempt of an overtake. Doesn't seem like it at the moment right now. Cameron in the Aston Martin looks absolutely rapid. Just biding his time. Just making sure that James is wasting his ERS down the straight, making sure that he's degrading a lot more tires than he is, and maybe making the overtake later on. We'll have to see. But yeah, not the same Mercedes, but our Mercedes is leading the race, and I have a bit of suspicion of what happened to Persigelli. and that might be he saw in the crowd someone holding a Belgian waffle with cream, and he wanted to take a look at that a bit more closely, and hence why he was around in that corner. That's my theory, at least. I don't know. That's the most likeliest scenario that happened in my in my eyes. But everyone else here has already eaten dinner / lunch, so they're revving to go. But I don't think Percy has.
Well, I figure Belgium is such a scenic place. You just get caught up in the scenery, and then by the time you realize it, it's like, oh wait, there was a left turn over there. I should have went left instead of kept going straight. Yikes!
Exactly. Well, it looks like it has come to a bit of a DRS strain, and everyone else has more ERS than James at the moment, but not making any moves. As I can spot, outbreaking himself, going to the runoff area and cutting some grass, the most expensive lawnmower you'll see today. Well, he kept his position, didn't lose any position, didn't gain any position, so the FIA will let that go, I can imagine.
I kind of feel for Reifler there a little bit, because now he's almost in danger of getting knocked out of the DRS train, kind of having to take evasive action there. And oh no, it just piles on for Julashow. Another 3 seconds onto the penalty bank there. So I believe that is 6 seconds of time that they're going to spend in the pits.
Penalty bank. Not a place I would take a loan from.
No, not at all. The interest rates are pretty severe.
Yeah, it sounds like it. And Cameron is now closer than ever to James Taylor, and he has a lot of ERS in the ERS bank. And he's ready to cash out any moment now. We'll have to see if James Taylor has enough to defend into the Camel Straight. And, well, 2 Mercedes-powered engines, but of course everyone is running equal in this race. We'll have to see Sector 1 yellow. That's a Ferrari. That brings out the safety car.
Oh my.
Right. So, a Ferrari spun. And now it's a bit of a hocus pocus on whose position is whose. So we have a full course safety car. That Ferrari is missing its wing, so we're going back to...
Is that Versingrick? Yeah. Versingrick trying to remodel the car.
Less aero.
Weight, it might go a little faster, in the straightaways. But, you might give up a little something in the turns, though.
Do you want to know something very interesting that happened in the very, very early stages of the game? Is that you could race with no wing, no problem. Because Codemasters hasn't really figured out at that point how the car would behave, because obviously this is a new generation. And when you lost your wing, you could race without it without any issues. You'd actually only lose maybe 8/10 a lap or something, but...
Oh, wow.
You wouldn't lose that much of time behind another car or, without a wing. I tested it out. I had a red wing in the open lobby. I was dead last. And I still got P1 around Baku. With no wing at all. So it's interesting to say the least. Of course, some of it go down to skill. But the fact that you're still able to keep up with no wing, that's a whole different story. Anywho, we're expecting Brissing to pit this lap. The Ferrari is definitely not shorter budget, but I can tell you who is shorter budget. That's Power F1, so bring out the tape, everyone. And bring out the cardboard box.
We at least got duct tape there instead of the masking tape as of late.
As we see the whole grid going into the pits, James Taylor is the one who stays out. Interesting by the Mercedes team. I am
surprised by this.
Yeah. And a bit of a goofy animation from Codemasters. Change your wing. and it doesn't look like he's carrying any other damage. That bathtub side pod the Ferrari has looks mighty fine. So we're going to race again in 2 laps or something. We'll have to see. But yeah, I mean, the only one who
We
hasn't made a
might.
pit is James, so that's interesting.
Julius Show didn't go into the pits either.
You're absolutely correct. I missed that. Interesting.
So they may be still trying to stick with the plan. 15 laps on a medium tire.
It's
Oh.
durable. It's durable if you tire save, but I think everyone is banking on another safety car. But even though the if the tire won't go the distance, they could definitely go for a set of softs. And a set of soft will give you a lot of lap time to gain back. In my personal opinion.
Very true. At this point, I almost want to assume if I'm James Taylor or Julius Show, I'm going to go, okay, everybody else still has to go into the pits one more time. I would presume they all know that everybody behind them is on the faster medium tire. So it's going to be a bit of an effort for James Taylor or Julius Show to hold their positions at the front right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, safety car is gonna be out another lap. If not, it's unorthodox for the safety car to go in the same lap it got pulled out. So I'm not too sure, but the grid is together. There is no debris on track, so everyone is revving to go really. And
No, it's going to do another lap around. It would have made the message probably right around the start of Sector 3.
There's no clouds in the sky,
car
sadly.
would be in. So they're going to do another lap around. So a bit of a reprieve for the medium tire. So now, realistically, we're looking at 14 racing laps potentially. And that is a little outside where I personally think the window is. I have it at about 10 to 12 laps. As to how far I would consider extending the medium tires.
Well done. We just have to see, because, well, this race is gonna go one way or another. If a safety car goes out again, then James Taylor and Julius Show has done a big brain move. And they can pit for a set of fresh mediums, while the others have to pit as well for a fresh set of mediums, I can imagine. But they will have the track position. Or it can go in the completely different direction, and there's no safety car or VSC coming out. And that will put them in the back foot immediately. But at least for James, I wouldn't be too worried, because it seems like he has good pace. The young Brit, so I don't expect him to lose too much time after he's pitted again, if he will pit again,
well, James
without any safety car.
At all.
But like without safety car.
Yeah, I would assume that James and Julius Show probably going to come in around lap 16 or so. At the latest. These safety car laps help a little bit, and there we go. There's the message. The safety car coming in this lap. So we will resume racing with the start of lap 9 and leaving us, 14 laps of green flag racing to go to the end.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed, knock on wood, whatever phrase you want to do. Hopefully, this will be the last we see of the safety car, virtual or otherwise.
Oh, onto the grass he goes. Now that's the most expensive lawnmower you will see today. And he's warming up his tires, and it's up to him whether he wants to start, and he needs to keep a steady pace until he decides to go. And he can go at any moment now. And it looks like he's going from the SS. I mean, not the SS, what am I
Yeah, the
saying?
chicane.
The
There.
chicane, yeah. And look at the gap
Oh
he
yeah,
already
he
got.
caught everybody napping there. Wow, Jula show.
Oh, as Julius Shaw is immediately being under threat by Cameron, the pacey Aston Martin, who did pit behind James Taylor. And he did make the move. And we'll see if he's going to be under threat with Lewis Piper again, because I can imagine that Lewis Piper wants that position. Let's see, Julius Shaw has already dropped 2 positions as they go side by side. Terrible camera angle. Codemasters. Oh, there's been a little contact, but not enough to warrant for anything. He's going for the switchback, Lewis Piper. Looking for a move inside. Cameron didn't defend that all too much, and through goes the Aston Martin. I mean, the AlphaTauri. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it looks like he just decided to let him go and, oh my, Tadpole. Looks like running afoul of track limits. So 3 seconds for Tadpole.
Yeah. Persigelli as well, the other Mercedes. I can imagine don't want to be stuck behind Julius Shaw and drop out of DRS. Now this is absolutely a crucial stage for the Mercedes driver. He needs to overtake this car quickly and get behind the slipstream of the other cars. Otherwise, him being out of the contention of the race win is a big scenario, well, a most likely scenario that could happen. The Williams is being all over the place at the moment, and as Persigelli didn't look like he wanted to overtake there quite really.
It looked like he tried to bail out and avoid contact.
Yeah.
But race control there decided, no, you unfortunately cut that corner, so 3 seconds for you, sir.
Yeah, we'll have to see. That warning is a bit if you ask me, but they're climbing out the hill right now, and I don't think your DRS is enabled this lap. I'm not too sure. We'll have to see. It is not. In fact, it will be enabled next lap. And the Ferrari of Riffler going side by side with Julius Shaw as well. Julius Shaw is being swallowed by the field here.
Yeah,
and
those
the McLaren going wide.
Oh wow, a little bit of action there.
Oh,
bye-bye. Oh no. Oh, the Williams.
There's a bit of carbon there.
Show, yeah.
Phoenix as well.
VSD at minimum. Oh, there's the safety car.
Full course safety car. Wow. And look at that. James Taylor, being in P2, who hadn't pitted yet, has the opportunity to pit now. And the tires will surely make 12 laps.
Oh, they won't even need to make 12 laps. By the time the safety car comes in, it'll be lap 12.
Exactly.
13, maybe.
That's very unfortunate.
At that point, the 9 laps on medium tires, sure. But this also helps everybody that's already out on mediums as well.
Exactly.
Because instead of having to run 14 laps under green flag, they are showing us 3 laps, but what has it been? A lap and a half of green flag racing so far? So half of those 3 laps have been under caution. So let's call it 2 laps.
Lewis Piper goes in again. Interesting.
Another lap of, racing with the 2 caution laps. Let's call 2 caution laps 1 actual lap. Now they're at the end of their window there. So, James Taylor is going to lose a lot in all of this, unfortunately. The gamble, I don't think, really paid off.
Personally, I think it paid off. Because not only did he hold lap, he held position. But not only that, he was quite competitive in the hards as well, and he gained a couple of positions as well by staying out, and now he's on 4 laps fresher tires than the others in front of him. And look who's leading the pack. It's his teammate.
Very true. Questionable or not, Persigelli does have the penalty time assessed. as does Tadpole. I believe Julisho choosing not to serve the penalties and going to add it to their time at the end of the race, perhaps. Not sure how that works if you're forced when you have penalties against you to serve them, or if you have
You're not
the
forced to
choice.
serve them.
Okay.
So here's the thing. With warnings, it's a bit blur because of course you need 3 warnings to get a penalty. Uh, but on top of that as well, it depends how you get the warning. If you were in a battle and you're being pushed wide, getting a warning for track limits there, that warning can get removed. If you, for example, try to avoid a collision, which Percy personally looked to have done, because from what it looked like, he actually backed out of that move, but then decided to recommit to it, and got a warning because of that. That's also something to be taken up with FIA, because that's something he didn't exactly gain anything by it, because he tried to pull out exactly, but we'll have to see.
It's questionable. I'd have to, look at it again, but in real time, it looked like he kind of backed out and took evasive action.
Exactly.
How it looks, under the microscope is a bit different, as it looks like we do have someone into the pits. I believe Reifler going into the pits, so gonna go for a new set of medium tires.
Yeah, absolutely right. If you were to give me a sec. Sorry about that. Anywho, so we saw Riffer going into the pits again, switching for a brand new set of mediums. McLaren Tadpole had a poor qualifying, but look at where he's at. Where he's at now, of course, with the penalty, of course. Desperately trying to weave and get heat into those tires.
Yeah, Tadpole didn't go out until the track had already been essentially ruined by the rain, so unable to set a good time. Tadpole did start 9th, if memory serves me correctly. So, being in second place halfway through the race, definitely, a good thing. I wanted to say, something a little more spectacular, but, at this point, I'm kind of doing the math in my head and going, okay, we're looking at, 5 laps. We're going to add 10 more. That's going to put us right around that limit. Yes, it'll be 15 total laps, but we've got to account for 4 of those laps being under caution. So it's close on these tires for Persigelli and Tadpole lasting to the end of the race.
Yeah. We'll have to see. Punctures has happened before in Pro Series. What comes to mind was when Dougie Falcons got a puncture in Japan in the last lap and had to drag his Williams to the finishing line and still finished first in true Hamilton style.
Wow.
In Silverstone. And that was something really spectacular to see. And of course, Dougie Falcon since has retired from league racing. But, I mean, we still have spectacular drivers on the grid at the moment. Persigelli is leading the pack currently, with the penalty to his name, of course. We'll have to see where he goes. And the McLaren is getting ready. And Percy is already going.
Oh, that looks like it might have been a bit of an early go, but
I mean,
you know what? He caught everybody napping,
Yeah.
and it looks like he's going to get away again. Wow. All right.
Oh, as Lewis Piper dives down the outside, caught the McLaren off guard there, I think. And James Taylor already up on that rear on that McLaren. Not a good day for us, McLaren. I mean, for that McLaren team. We'll have to
That's
see.
all right.
Look at that speed difference. I think Tadpole is running higher wings. than the rest of the grid. He's losing out on the straight line by quite a
Oh,
significant margin. Oh, that was super clean, great battling, and Tadpole is compromised here. His line is compromised. The Aston Martin diving down the inside, well, looking into the inside, and as the Aston Martin somehow found space, and
oh.
I did a similar move, but a lot more cleaner, I must say. And Tadpole already around in the McLaren, and sadly, that's a sad day for for them in Brackley, not for us, because I'm not a biased person here. Anyways, Persigelli is leading the pack. Lewis Piper is following suit, and James Taylor has gone into the mix. It's a German sandwich with a bit of Italian cheese in the middle.
Oh boy, yeah, nothing but fair and unbiased commentary here at Proper F1.
You're absolutely right. And I also made myself quite hungry.
Oh no.
To see James Taylor going defensive. He doesn't want to. Persigelli going defensive. He doesn't want to give up the position. Felt the threat of Lewis Piper behind. Persigelli now leading the pack yet again for another lap.
I think Tadpole is done for. They are another Sector 3 yellow flag, and it looks like Tadpole might be done for the day. Or, no, looks like they're back out there going for it.
Look at this, though.
Get it into the pits.
A bit of a different line into Rouge, and we'll have to see. They're going side by side. Persigelli still leading by a fingertip and has to back out because of that elevated curb, inside curb, and loses out the position to Lewis Piper. And Piper, with the freshest set of mediums, is leading the pack. Tadpole decides to call it a day. Somewhat what Persigelli Piastri had to do yesterday in the McLaren, and retire early from the race, which is not something to be happy about. Well, it's a race to forget for the McLaren boys. But James Taylor is closing up now on Persigelli. Will there be team orders? As Persigelli does a donut, because he's yet again saw a Belgian waffle in the
Oh, you gotta wait until the end of the race to go doing donuts in the middle of the track like that. Oh no.
Yeah, Persigelli spending his weekend at his friend's cabin, getting himself a bit tipsy, just returned home and hopping onto the rig to do some sim racing. And yeah, Persigelli losing up big time there. The muscle memory aren't quite there for him, are there? But James Taylor is chasing that AlphaTauri that's currently leading the race. And Lewis Piper seems to be a driver to be reckoned with.
Well, that second safety car, I think, set everybody up to come in for the medium tires and just give it a go. Persigelli, not sure what happened there, but they haven't gone into the pits, so it doesn't look like any kind of a puncture. So the tires look okay. We'll see if they're able to recover. Maybe a little misfortune of others as we draw to the close of the race with 7 laps remaining. We do have a good train of drivers here in 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, all likely going to start battling for position with each other.
You're absolutely right. And, well, let's just say there is not a lack of action today. It's a bit too much action getting out the safety car. But, that's racing at the end of the day. And Lewis Piper has been dropping James Taylor for quite a bit now. What was 1.9 seconds at the start of this lap has now extended to 2.4. So James has some work to do. He is on the same tire age as the car ahead, but hasn't been able to make anything of it.
I'm speculating a little bit here, but I think James Taylor is more concerned about keeping Cameron Searle behind him than trying to chase down Lewis Piper and kind of fill their bucket, so to say, in what will be a not wise battle to fight. You basically use all your resources to pull Cameron Searle along with you just to get past anyway. Not
Yeah,
the
and
greatest
here we
strategy
go,
design in my
actually.
mind.
For me, might be just
Oh my.
inner. Oh, there's a lot of penalties going out. But I think that the attack is the best form of defense, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, and a slight tear shedding because of McLaren's performance today. But uh, Aston Martin, you're absolutely right. I mean, there's more a bit of a threat from behind rather than in front. And Cameron looks like those tires are 10 laps younger than James' tires, and you know
Now,
he's keeping up.
we go and say all of that, but now James Taylor is provisionally in the lead of this race.
You're absolutely right. The 3-second penalty.
With that conversation we just had, I did see up at the top that Lewis Piper did incur a 3-second penalty. So now Lewis Piper has to build that gap up. And it's close to that 3 seconds. It's really close. I saw it up to 2.9, but it looks to be stable at about 2.5, 2.7 right now. So this might change things if James Taylor knows that Lewis Piper has that penalty against them.
1/10 to hang on to for James Taylor, and it's not going to be easy with Cameron behind him, as James goes very defensive and pushing him to the outside, but not being able to do much of it because of just that overspeed that Cameron has. And now James Taylor is not catching as much. And we see Julisho having a bit of a spin there in the Williams.
Oh, Julisho, a little rough day at the office there.
A race to forget.
Another
definitely.
spin, yeah. So just a little rough, but you know what? They are persevering. They hopefully will be able to see the checkered flag. They're not out of it yet. Anything can happen with the 5 laps remaining in this race. We've got tight, close racing in the middle of the pack here, although it has started to separate. Cameron Searle and James Taylor still probably able to go at it, with James Taylor now the cat and Cameron Searle the mouse, trying to avoid being overtaken by said cat.
I'm not sure how much you want to fight this, knowing that Lewis Piper has the penalty and they're borderline on the penalty. 3 seconds, that is. And if they fight, they're gonna lose a lot more time than they would gain on to Lewis Piper. So we'll have to see. So yeah, as you said, this field has spread out a bit. But the Ferrari, is there gonna be team orders at the Ferrari garage? We don't know. Brissink is already blinking. Reifler has a lot of ERS to play with.
Oh, they're going to have to make up almost 3 seconds themselves to be able to have, you know, the move. And it looks like it is taking place. Reifler overtaking Brissingrick, and now going to try to take a shot at Phoenix, who is 3 seconds up the road. So that is something to... Whoa! A little
bit of a drift there.
Swiftly out of that turn there, but...
Thank you for the content. That's all I can say. Simply lovely.
At this point, you know, between Cameron Searle and James Taylor, it is kind of a cat and mouse game, because you want to be the one with the DRS in the last lap to be able to make that pass and then make it stick for the rest of the lap around. So if they do just DRS train each other and kind of slingshot each other, that may actually benefit the both of them in staying within the 3 seconds, which, looking at the time chart now, they're almost 3.5 seconds down the road from Lewis Piper, who does have a 3-second penalty against them.
Yeah. Not ideal for the two drivers chasing that win at the moment. I don't have their facts back on my head right now, but I don't think either of them has won a race yet. And of course, you want that debut win. James is actually losing time to Cameron. Not being able to challenge him. He's out of ERS as well. Well, Cameron is just calm. 50% ERS. And yeah, James is struggling quite a lot with keeping up with him. And we see another spin by Julisho. And
no.
end plate still intact. Car still intact. And Persigelli has closed up by a 10th since last lap to the Ferraris. And he wants to speed up the process, I can imagine. Because, yeah, overtaking might be crucial because he doesn't know if the warning he has going to be removed or not. Persigelli getting another free second.
No.
Now that won't get removed. Talking about cursing, the team principal George will probably say curse you, Rickety, for the commentator curse, but I'm just doing my job.
Yeah, I think now in doing our job, one thing I think we're going to see is probably some combination of Persigelli and or Julisho just saying, all right, we got the penalties, we're out of contention. Can we go in, get softs, and have a go at that bonus point?
That's the question. We'll have to see. If they were to pit, they need to pit next lap, I believe. No, this lap, actually.
Well, and it looks like Persigelli's in, so going to have 2 shots at setting that fastest lap.
And on the softs go. We'll have to see.
And, yep, Julisho coming in right after. So I can see them coming down the pit lane right now.
You read their mind like an open book. Well,
I've been around the block in the racing world, so you know it looks like Persigelli going to leave the time penalties for the end of the race. So I expect the FIA to be swamped with appeals in this race, to put it bluntly. Oh, that is not the way to go through there, as Reifler not only spins, but takes a penalty on top of it, too.
Yeah, mounted the curb a bit too much there. Actually, in the previous game, that's a curb you want to hit. In current gen cars, that's a curb you want to avoid. And that's something I had to learn the hard way during practicing. And the tires are overheated. Has no control over the car.
I think we got a third member of the fastest lap attempt club, as Reifler's going to try to nurse this back around, get in the pits, get the softs on, and have a go at it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it doesn't look like he's quite comfortable on the mediums at the moment. Those mediums are only 8 laps. It's the youngest of the medium runners. But yeah, he just lost the...
I think going around like that cooked his tires. Oh, he's going to stay out.
Ferrari
strategy. All right.
So we're going Plan Z? Plan Z?
Yeah, that's Plan something, but oh boy.
If it's the right plan, no idea.
Now, I can't see a world in which that would have been the proper plan, but you know what?
It's
They got something in mind, and I guess Reifler's decided, okay, I've only got 14 seconds to Persigelli. I can hold on for 2 laps and stick with 6th place here, instead of going into the pits, probably losing out position-wise to one of, if not both of, Persigelli and Julisho.
Oh, that's talking about Ferrari. The second one has just spun.
Oh no!
Oh, and
Oh.
Reifler having a bit of a moment there, avoiding his teammate as well. It's a day to forget for Ferrari as well. I mean, we can't stop commentating cursing people, right?
That's our job as commentators. Yeah, we got to equally distribute the curse
Yeah,
among
exactly.
all of the runners here.
Now, I'm gonna do a bit of an experiment. Lewis Piper, a flawless race, hasn't done anything wrong, hasn't stepped a single foot wrong, has just been dominant throughout this whole race, pulling the right strategy and definitely not have a loose rear end, and has spun around. Alright, let's see if that's gonna work. Because I'm just curious, okay? We'll have to see. But yeah, Brisick now again in the DRS of Rifler. And has no ERS to his name, and Rifler has barely any. They have cashed out too much from the ERS bank. Persigelli with the new fastest lap, so that will be an extra point for the Finnish driver.
Yeah, if that fastest lap holds up, we are on the last lap. So at this point, it's really just a matter of holding that 3-second interval to Cameron Searle for Lewis Piper. They do have the 3-second penalty, as you were kind enough to bring up for us. As to if it'll stick, as to if it's relevant, who knows? That's an FIA appeals thing, and not something that I'm even going to try to speculate on right now. I only call it the way I see it, and right now...
Rifler!
Yeah.
Around the wall in the same corner.
Yeah, that happened. Yeah, thank you for on that one. Because no sooner do I say what I say, and somebody goes around. It's, oh my... I just kind of threw my arms up, and I'm like, really?
Oh no. Oh no. Persigelli with another penalty. Oh, this is not going great for Mercedes today after having a 1-3 in the qualifying. And now Rifler is having a hard time navigating through the corners because of his broken wing. Now it's time for Persigelli to overtake on the fresh set of softs. Doesn't have the ERS for it though. He's losing out. Lewis Piper crosses the line, the start-finish line first, and he wins by 4/10 after penalties. And oh wow, the Ferrari is going deep there, and the Mercedes doing a switchback. Is it enough
Oh, if
with
he's
the
got
tires?
any kind of power to win this drag race.
Oh,
Oh.
not enough. But valiant effort from the Flying Finn. Rifler immediately calls it a day and leaves the lobby. He doesn't even want to see a race director at the moment. He doesn't want to save the replay. He just want to move on, do better things in his life, I guess. But
that's one of those where it's all right. Get me out.
Lewis Piper, driver of the day, and I can't argue with that. From his qualifying position to his finishing position, like I said, didn't step any foot wrong. He did nothing wrong. He was dominant throughout the race, pulled the right strategy. And yeah, well-deserved win for Lewis Piper, and that will go into the books as a boring race from his part, I think. But for the rest of the grid, it's just been a lot of tears, a lot of sweat, but nothing out of it.
Yeah. So Lewis Piper winning the race. Cameron Searle just outside of that 3-second window, so not able to. Jumping the start. Yeah, right at the beginning. So we did have that jumping the start penalty that happened at the start of the race.
Well, there you have the grid, ladies and gentlemen. And Lewis Piper, the Scottish driver, takes yet another win. And sadly, from my end, I won't be able to do any interviews because my voice is completely gone. But I think I can turn up for more Pro Series races. I've been quite busy for the last couple of days with personal stuff. So if it sticks to Monday, I might be able to commentate more often alongside my great amigo Frico. So yeah, I mean, I think that's all for us, and hopefully we'll see you again next week, if not tomorrow. No, in 2 days' time. Wednesday, which is Challenger. We'll have to see. But yeah, from us, from the commentary booth, we're going out to grab some Belgian waffles, Belgian pancakes. I'm quite hungry. Are you?
Oh, absolutely. I'm looking forward to some Belgian fries.
Yeah, and let's avoid the Mercedes garage. I don't think they're too happy with us at the moment. Anywho, thank you for
Yeah.
joining us, and yeah,